Good evening, everyone. A very, very warm welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Priti, and I am your host tonight for this very, very special session. Tonight is not just another Zoom call, but it is a start of a movement, a mission to help families build better health, greater beauty, more financial freedom, so that all of us can live our life on our own terms. Because when a family becomes healthier, wealthier, and more confident, a whole generation rises. And today, you are here at the beginning of something historic. As many of you have heard, New Skin has officially expanded into India. For those of you who are new, New Skin is a global wellness and beauty company listed in the US, operating in 50 plus countries, offering innovative health, beauty, and age defying technology. And right now, New Skin is looking for passionate people and channel partners who want to bring cutting edge wellness solutions into the Indian market and build an impact driven business along the way. So, if you've ever thought to yourself, I wish I had global opportunities, I want more income options, I want to build something meaningful for my family, then, my friends, you are in the right place at the right time. India is rising, the wellness boom is rising. And tonight, your future could rise too. And now, it is my honor to introduce a visionary leader whose mentorship has transformed people globally, helping many everyday individuals step into leadership, success, and purpose. He is the founder of the Global Success Together community, a mentor, a strategist, and someone who truly believes in empowering people to win. Everyone, fill in the chat with all your emojis and type welcome Rayne. And please help me to welcome one and only Circle of Excellence for Mr. Rayne Ho.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Thank you, Priti, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening, everyone. I'm not sure which part of the world you're coming from, right? Just you probably can share where you are from the chat box, so that I can get to know you better. Well, I think it's a wonderful night today. I see a lot of people actually logging in this tonight, right? I hope that not because that I'm speaking tonight. I just want to extend all the gratitude to all our sharers and all our speakers has been sharing for the last 6 days, right? I think we started the first meeting on the 1st of November. So tonight I'm going to share a little bit more about how do you able to win big in the India market. I think for most of you, they have been attending for the last couple of days. You'll probably be familiar with the opportunity. We're going to start in India, right? Starting on the 14th of November, we're going to do a pre-launch. Of course, the pre-launch will be like 6 months until next year. So you guys are actually the pioneers, right? The pioneering leaders that are building this market. So there's a reason why that tonight, I'm here willing to spend some time to every one of you, right? To let you have some insights, right, about how to build this business. At the same time, I'm going to share a little bit about the strategy on how we would open this new market. So before I touch on the business side or any of the strategy, right, I just want to share my testimonials. I'm not sure how many of you are actually interested or how many of you actually never seen my product transformation before. I hope that for those of you who have just attended our convention, right, which was last month, probably you hear my sharing before, but I think for those of you who are pretty new, right, you haven't come for a convention, you never heard about my story before. So let me show you, right, this is my transformation story, right, or since I started the New Skin business, right, look at how I look, 20 over years ago, right, until of course, as the years go by, we have more products are being developed. As you can see, my transformation over here. So definitely, I can guarantee you that we have the great product technology, right, to start with. Same thing that, I'm able to envision, right, in Indian market, we're going to transform a lot of life through our product. Well, I think that regarding the business, right, so I think some of you are really looking forward, to start the Indian market probably on the 14th, right? On the 14th, we're going to start a business in India. I think tonight I'm going to share with you a little bit on how do we actually build a business and what are the right mindset in building the business. So I think the first question we need to ask ourselves is that why are we here? Right, because I always believe that the why is more important than the how. I'm not sure about you, but I think that because why will determine our direction, right? So the first thing I'm going to communicate with you and share with you also my insight when I first started the business, right? What am I thinking? So the first thing I'm thinking is that why am I actually involved in this platform? Because I think for many of you actually dialing in today, probably you have a job, or probably that you have your own business, right? So why do we want to get involved in this a new platform? So basically, right, I think the most important thing is that whatever we do, right, we need to serve some objective. So for many of us, Everlines will be building the business. We want to know that why we are fighting for, right? Who are we fighting for? And also what's the dream? What's the career path, right? Moving forward for the next 5 and 10 years. And where are you right now, right? Whether your job, where are you going? All right, where are you going for the next 5 and 10 years? I think these are some of the questions that probably tonight, right, before you sleep, this is some of the questions you can ask yourself, because without attach any purpose and meaning to the business opportunity, I think that we will not have energy to fight. When we do not know that why are we doing this thing. So for me, it's the same thing. I started off with a self-employed. I was an insurance agent. I was actually a financial planner. So basically that if you look at the curve right over here on the right side, on my right side, right? So basically you realize that the different path that we choose in our life will determine our destiny or our outcome. So when I first started, you realize that, I did not start with employee, because I know that, right, job, if you own a job, the definition of job means that just over broke. Right? Sorry if you are having a job right now. I hope that I don't offend you. But the truth is that we all know that being an employee, right? So at the end of the day, no matter how hard you work, by the time you're asked to leave or you retire, your income will go back to zero. So that is actually the typical employee curve, right? So of course, I chose a different path. I chose to become a self-employed, but like many of you, probably they own a small business, or you are insurance agent, you are property agent, right? So all these self-employed people, you realize that literally we can make money, right, through our hard work. But at the end of the day, you realize that when we stop working, right, the income will stop. So that's how, when I get to know about this platform, I started to have a different thinking about, about my future. So the third option that I could do is that involving in a conventional business, a traditional business. And I believe that in India, there are a lot of opportunities for you to own business too, right? But the thing is that we all know that traditional business, that there are a lot of risks. Now, sometimes you realize that you can make millions, but on the other hand, you realize that very quickly you also can make millions of dollars, right? So while we want to ride on the economy of India, right, for the next 20, 30 years, I believe that India will continue to be strong. But what kind of vehicle or platform we need to ride on, so that we are able to, ride on the success of the growth of the Indian economy. So when I get to know about Nu Skin platform, I realized that I started to draw the possibility for this platform. So riding on the network marketing business model, I realized that there could be a potential for us to enjoy the kind of exponential growth, right? Which in return that I'm able to get financial freedom and time freedom. So some of the people are always asking me that, why is it that you think, right, that the network marketing business, or especially about Nu Skin, right, we're able to enjoy the kind of exponential growth? I think basically it's two things, right? The first thing is that because we started at very low risk, we literally realized that there's no much involvement in terms of capital, right? You don't involve a lot of high risk. The second thing is because of the power of leverage, right? The power of leverage of this platform allows you to be able to scale your business without any risk, right? Of course, there are and two things that actually in this platform, the accumulation factors and the compounding factor, allows us to have total freedom in terms of financial and time freedom. So this is why that, on the first day when I get involved in this platform, I'm very clear. Even though those years you realize that we only started with skincare product, but I know that where can I be for the next 5, 10, and 20 years down the road. So of course, I worked very hard as I started the business, but we all know the exponential growth, right? It always started with a very humble beginning. So my first paycheck, in fact, in my Nu Skin journey was only $220 Sing dollars. Only $220. So for those of you who are starting to get interested about, find out about Nu Skin opportunity, right? You may be thinking that you want to make millions of dollars, right? Which I think that a lot of people want to make a lot of money. But I just want you to be aware that in exponential growth, right, do not start with a big income growth, or there will not be a big jump in terms of the income at the beginning. There will be a building up stage, right, the early stage of accumulation and building up stage. right? And until to a certain point, you realize that it started to explode. So that's why that you need to understand about the business model so that you will be patient in building the business. But what happened is that after 2 years, right, I completed my first $1 million income. I earned the first 1 million, and subsequently I took another 3 years to make my 5 million, another 5 years, another 4 years to complete my 10 million. So in total, in 12 years, right, I completed my 20 million milestone. Right. So this is again justified that when I saw about the business model, I realized that there's a possibility for me to enjoy the kind of exponential growth. So for me, standing over here, right, to speak to you, to share with you, is not so much about boasting how much money I make, but the most important thing that I stand here as the testimonials, a success story of what this platform can bring to us. And in India, right, for sure, you realize that with a population of 1.4 billion, right, there are a lot more possibility compared to us when we started in Singapore market, which is only a 5 million population. So that's the reason why that every one of us are so excited, right? You know, knowing that there are so many markets that are doing so well for those market and new skill venture into, and we believe that India will repeat the same thing, right? So basically, what are the important concepts and mindset in order for you to do well, right? So that definitely the equalizer on top of positioning, right? You need to know what is the important concept in this business platform. So there are two important concepts that I just want to instill with you, just like what I share with you about the long-term, right? Exponential growth. Exponential curve, you realize that it takes time for you to realize that the gains, the big gains come at the back, not at the front. So if we are not thinking about long term, we are thinking about short term. For example, right? If we thinking on that, if we just sell this product, how much money we can make, then probably that this is what I call very short term deal, right? So if you are going to a very short term deal thinking, you'll not be able to enjoy the long term benefits that this platform allows you to do it. So basically, you realize that once you adopt this thinking, right, then we are able to have total financial freedom, which I think many of us want to lead a beautiful and free life, right? Freedom, life of total freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom, right? And most important thing that for our partner, right, New Skin, our platform, which is a very strong partner, which all the market that we expanded to, right? We always think long term. So basically, you realize that we are actually forming a JV, joint venture, right? You are a business owner, but right now you realize that you are not alone. Basically, you do not invest money, but realize that you are able to leverage on a very strong partner that are actually going long-term in Indian market, which is New Skin. So literally, that for those of you who attended for the last few days session, you know that as we venture in the new market, we invested in the market, right? We build up all the infrastructure, enable our business partners, which is you, to be able to build your New Skin business in India. So you need to adopt the right thinking pattern, right? Which is have the long-term thinking. That's how you realize that you're able to realize the long-term benefits from the New Skin platform. The second important mindset you need to have is about duplication mentality, right? Because for most of the people, you realize that when they get to know about direct selling business, they thought that it's just about selling. Actually, selling is a very minimal part in our business. For those of the people who are doing so very well, successful in their marketing business, right? Selling is a very small portion, or rather, I say retailing business is a very small portion. But the bulk of the profit they could make is by building organization, right? By building a huge organization. And that's how you realize that you're able to enjoy the kind of time freedom, just like any business, right? If you are just a salesman or retailer, you don't make a lot of money. But if you build a company, right, you build an organization with many affiliates and business partners, right? So literally that we have like thousands of salespeople or affiliates, then that's how you make a lot of money. So that is why that, you know, in our business, right, you need to start to think about how do you able to duplicate your system or your operation so that we are able to enable a lot of people to do the same thing, right? So what is the purpose? What's the end objective for us to have the duplication mentality, right? I think the most important thing is that we want our business to be sustainable. So we want a business that continue to run with a constant monthly cash flow. That means that it can continue to run even though we are not active in the future. So one of the key reasons I get involved with this business is because I do not want to work for life, right? I want to work for a period of time. Then I'm able to enjoy the kind of passive income, right, that I build up in the initial years, right? I can have freedom. So That's why that, when we are not active in the futures anymore, is operations still intact, even that people are able to duplicate the same model. I think this is very important, right? Just to quote you one example. Maybe some of us that could be more familiar with franchise system. Like if you look at, I think in India, right? In India, you realize, I think Domino Pizza, right? It's a very, very successful franchise. I think you have McDonald's also in India. So richly, you realize that every franchise, this shop, they looks almost similar. They offer almost similar products and services. So they have the standardization, and that's how they can scale the business, right? So that is why you realize that all these successful franchise, they're able to build and scale. So that is why that in ST, in our team, right, we actually emphasize duplication a lot more than just retailing, because retailing, you only get the upfront retail profit. So in terms of duplication, right, I'll talk about 100% duplication. So definitely you realize that you got to start from us, right? So when we start from us, you realize that we need to have the back to zero mentality. Because I know that many of you could be coming with different kind of background. You could be an engineer, you could be an accountant, you could be a business owner, right? You could be a beautician, right? You could be coming from different walks of life, different profession. But when you're coming to this building the new skin business, you may come in with your own ideas, which is very normal, right? Because you come with your own experience, your past experience, and bring it to this platform. But unfortunately, you realize that if you are doing this, right, it's harder for you to get started in the business. Why? Because you are bringing your own experience. But over here, right, we built a business for 25 years, right? We have built a business, so we have developed a system and duplication model. So all you need to do, you realize that, you need to try to reset yourself to back to zero so that you're able to duplicate yourself, then you're able to duplicate others, right? Quoting example is just like, in order for you to scale a higher mountain, when you see a higher mountain today in New Skin, right? So New Skin can help you to bring up to the next level. So you see New Skin as a higher mountain, right? The first thing that you need to descend from the first mountain that you are in right now, right? Then you're able to rise up to the next mountain. So being able to back to zero is one of the very important mindset we need to have, right? Of course, the next one is about goal and action, right? So basically, you realize that we talk about goal, right? We talk about this goal setting. I think goal setting is extremely important for every one of us, right? So looking to the New Skin comp plan, we are very familiar that if you have been studying about the comp plan, right? We have the brand rep, we have the Ruby, we have the Blue Diamond, Team Elite, our COE1. So this is actually why I think that it's easier to become successful in New Skin, because that all the roadmap is actually mapped up for us, right? So when I first started in the business, same thing that, right, what I need to do is I just work on the plan, because the plan has been proven over the years, right? Has been time tested. So all we need to do is very simple. Just need to spend all our efforts and working on the plan, because the plan is already working, right? So how do we able to make millions of dollars or makes a lot of money in building the business? These are what I mentioned earlier on, right? It's not just about retailing, right? Retailing is just a very small part in our business. The key thing is that do you have the ability, starting from you, right, and build more franchise, right? We call it success as simple as duplicate 1, 2, 3 in our system. So basically that helps you to become a brand rep, and subsequently you can do the same thing and multiply, right, by 525, 125, 625, 3,125, 15,000, right? In total, you have 20,000 brand rep in the whole nationwide in India. So New Skin compensation plan, the most lucrative part is the 6th generation 5% of leadership bonus, right? So how does it actually come out with in terms of the income? So potential income, right? How do this what they call it, 2 crores per month, right? It's a lot of money, right? So assuming that very, very worst case scenario, just the 3 levels, right? 3 levels of income equivalence is almost like 15.5 lakhs per month. So not compared to a lot of working class or even for people who are building their business, right? Sometimes you realize if you want to scale the business, we are not very clear. We don't have the visibility. But in this comp plan since 1984, right, this comp plan of 6th generation 5% has never changed. And you have created more than almost coming to 2,000 US dollar, right, millionaires. So meaning that we are going to repeat the same story again in India, right? It's just a matter of time, because it takes time for us to build up the structure. right? We need the time to build up the structure. So can you imagine that, right? So many people ask me that, so how do I actually literally get started? Because we all know that when NewSkin started in India, right, we have limited product to start with. But in overseas, right, after 10 and 20 years, we have like almost like 100 products. But we only started with a few products actually starting in a new market. So what we actually develop over here, which is very important, I hope that tonight, right, tonight you are able to digest what I'm going to share with you in terms of the strategy, because you realize that we cannot focus on just too many products for you to expand your network, right? You need to build a structure first. So what we do over here is to share with you what is the most effective way for you to get started into the business, right? Of course, you can choose many ways. You can pick up any product and trying to go and sell the product. This is one way, and making some marketing bonus. There are three bonus right now in our compensation plan. One is a marketing bonus. One is a developing bonus. The third one is actually the lead bonus. So we have three bonus. So there are many options for you to build a business, right? You have free play, literally, right? NewSkin, just a supplier. Yeah, it's a matter of how you want to build a business. But for ST, right, over the last 25 years, we are able to build a successful and sustainable business because we realize that the importance of duplicate the system, right? Without a system, you realize that you cannot scale. So what we are doing here in the pre-launch period in India market, right? We actually spot one important product, which is a top selling product, right? In our company. It's also a number one, device, right? By Euromonitor, right? For so many years, which I think some of you probably heard about our Lumi Spa, right? You can see the Lumi Spa over here. So this is going to be a very high technology device. And we choose this very unique patented technology to enter into this market, right, for duplication. So basically for step one, right, all you need to do is that you sign up as a direct seller, because only as a direct seller, you are able to expand your organization. There's one step. So what you do is that you purchase the first business starter kit, right, which is the Lumi Spa, for your own use. At the same time, you can use the Lumi Spa for demo, right, for business purpose. So most of the time, you realize that when you buy a certain things, right, you realize that you don't get to participate in an opportunity. But in this case, you realize that not only you can use the product, at the same time, you realize that you can build a business with this device, right? Next step, what you do is that you enroll one direct seller with the same business starter kit like you, and convert yourself to become a brand affiliate. So we all know that we have the direct selling pricing, right, and the brand affiliates pricing. So they have different pricing. So once you become a BA, we call it brand affiliates, you started to qualify for marketing bonus, right? As you can see over here, right? If you enroll 4 direct sellers with business starter kit, right? Another 4. So the first one is for you to unlock yourself to become a BA. So you started with direct seller, you unlock, right? Unlock your BA by actually sponsoring one person. Then after that, you sponsor 4 person, you build the first structure, right? Which is our 5, the give me 5. So you get a marketing bonus of, about, it's not a lot of money, right? It's about 6,500, right? About rupee. So what's the next step? The next step, basically, you realize that you help one direct seller. Of course, you can help many. I'm just giving you an example of, right, based on more conservative. So you want helping one first. So now you have 5 direct seller, right? So, or customer, it could be customer also. You focus on helping one of them, right, to repeat the same thing. So when you help them to repeat the same thing, actually you complete your brand rep qualification. And in fact, you realize that the returns you can get, right, basically the marketing bonus, and it allows you to have the developing bonus qualify 10%, and the developing bonus, right, total of 7,000. So that will give about 13,871. So basically, for this month in November, I think the companies are running a new market opening promotion, right? We have actually a double so-called double bonus in terms of developing bonus. So in fact, it's actually more than this amount of money, virtually that you get back your device almost for free. So if you're able to duplicate the same thing, right, like this duplication model, right? I wanted to imagine a little bit, right? So we have next month, we have Prism that's coming in. For those of the people who are becoming a brand rep, right? You are able to participate in this Prism. You get to buy the Prism, right? And at the same time, you realize we have Live Pack launching also next month, our supplement, right? Our Omega. In January, we're going to launch Tiami. So as you build your network, right? So any of the new product that is actually launching in the new market, what happens is that you will flow into the network. So the focus will be more on building more your network at the beginning of the stage, right? Not into just by direct selling a lot of product. I'm not sure how many of you actually understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? Basically, it's very simple. For any of the new market, right? What you need to do is that expand your market share. So as you expand your market share, expand your network, what happens is that when there are more products throwing into the market, right? What happens is that your network volumes will get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But if you are not spending time in building a network or organization or building the structure, you are busy trying to sell a lot of product, right? There's only a limited income you can make, which is most of the income only coming from the marketing bonus. But what we intend to do is to help you to build a 6th generation 5% of lead bonus, and that is where the wealth are being created. So the strategy is very important. So I hope that you have a little bit of overview, some insight. But if you still do not understand, right, you can talk to your coach, right, your mentor, to find out more about details, right? So basically, I just want you to have an overview and how this duplication model can able to help you to fulfill your 525, 125, right, up to 6th generation of leadership bonus, right? Last part, right, I just want to share with you about the activities, right? Because we have the goals. The next thing you realize that the action is very important. So the daily actions, basically you realize that I put it summarized into 3 things, which is very simple, right? The first one, be a product lover, because you will not be able to share with people if you don't believe in the product. So be a super product lover, use the products and create testimonials for yourself. Right. For those of you who are using Luminspa, very simple, right? Basically, you realize that by just using one time, you realize that you can see the difference already. Right. So use the product and create your own testimonials, because you realize it's easier for you to share the product with people if you have a great testimonials. So be a passionate sharer and help other people. So that is the first step, right? Use the product, after which you realize that you're more than willing to share with people. The second part was becoming a builder. So for those of the people you realize that you want to build the business, right? Then you will become a BA, which is what we call a builder, becoming a builder. So what is a builder doing is that share the business opportunity and plan and help others too. Right. The third one, of course, we need to position ourselves to become a leader. A leader build team. Right? Builders, you realize that they move product, but you realize that as a leader, you realize that you started to build team. So as a leader, what we need to focus on is pursue the personal growth, right? So what you need to do is that maintaining close alignment with your coaches or your mentors and participate in all the products and business meeting. And at the same time, learn from the recordings and the tools that we have in the system. So we have been building the business for the last 25 years, and we have a very established system that, in terms of the personal development. Right? So most important thing is to realize that how do you able to prioritize your personal growth? Because like I note over here, right? There's a special note. I say that the speed of your personal growth is directly proportional to your business. So literally that if you only you yourself, you are called solopreneur, right? You are basically a sole proprietor. But if you have 5 people, you have 30 people, you have 100 people, you become a big leader. So the bigger the size of the organization requires different level of leadership skill. So that's why that in ST, right, in our system, we actually focus a lot on personal growth. In fact, we have STU, our Success Together University, which actually have different stage of leadership training for different pin title. So that's what we are doing. So to sum it up, this is pretty simple in terms of what we need to focus on, right? Sharing the product, use the product, share the product, right? And you just play it forward, right? And you just continue this cycle every day. So this is what we need to do. Of course, as you do, right, you become more skillful. So at the end of the day, what we hope to achieve through this platform is this 6 dimension of values, right? So Nu Skin is just a vehicle. It's just a platform, right? So I want you to understand that you are not doing Nu Skin. Some people realize that they say that I'm doing it. You are not doing skin. I never position myself on the first day doing the business, I'm doing Nu Skin. I also never position myself that I'm direct selling. That is a wrong positioning, right? So when you started on this journey with Nu Skin, you are actually partnering with Nu Skin, which most of the risks are being borne by them because they are an established platform that's proven themselves over the years, right? So by partnering with them, you help them to expand the market, right? Expand the channel, expand the market, help them to expand their brand. So by doing so, right, what happened is that, they were willing to share the profit together with you. But once you understand how much the profit they're paying to you, right, in terms of we talk about the plan, the compensation plan, then you need to be relatable to your own personal, what you want in life. So in fact, over the last 25 years, right, many of people came in at the beginning stage, probably they just want to come in because they want to enjoy good, in good product, right, become healthier or become more beautiful, younger, right? And some people even came in because they want to make more money, right? They want wealth, they want to create wealth. But along the way, you realize in ST, right, we realize that we are not only having the product benefits or just the money. In fact, you realize that we have personal growth, right? We have family happiness. We have established more meaningful relationship, right? More friends. And some in terms of the social values, yeah, we were able to pay forward to more people. So this is what we hope to complete, right? So to actually achieve a holistic success through the NewScape platform. So I hope whatever I share tonight, right, it may be something very new to you. You may not be totally understand, but you can always revisit this recording, right, and in days to come, in weeks to come. At the same time, you realize that do actually align with your working mentor, your working coaches, right, and they are more than willing to help you. And last but not least, right, I just want to share with you, for those of you who are attending for our coming expo in India, right, which is in Mumbai. I'm going to Mumbai and Delhi. So I hope to see all of you, right? If you could travel to these two cities, right, I would really want to say hello to every one of you, right? And hope that, we are able to collectively, we co-create a very successful India business together. So with that, I want to close my sharing for tonight. And good night, everyone. See you in India.
Thank you so much, Rayne, for your wisdom, your belief, your vision, to everyone here. The question is really no longer, can I do this? The real question is, will I show up for my future? Because right now, the door is open, the market is open, the opportunity is open. You've all heard the strategy, and the vision from Rayne. So every night, 9 p.m. India time for the rest of November, we will be having such sessions. This is really your moment to learn, to grow, and rise with us. Don't just attend, take action, bring at least one guest tomorrow. As you've heard Rayne share as well, there will be, new skin sessions happening in Mumbai, in Gurgaon, as well as Ahmedabad. So please, invite your guests to those sessions. Find out from the person who invited you here for more details. So let's ignite India, build global careers, and transform families together, because this is really not just business. This is a movement, and movements create leaders. Let's make history together and create beautiful lives together. Thank you and good night.